On this episode of Time About the Movies, it's Valentine's Day weekend 2014, and there's a number of options for the couples out there. You could take them to a remake of an 80s comedy classic in About Last Night. You could take them to a shitty remake of a classic 80s movie, Robocop. You could take them to a shitty remake of a shitty movie, Endless Love. Or you could take them to one of the most schmaltzy movies you'll ever see in your life, Winter's Tale. Pick your poison, people. It's Time About the Movies for February 14th, 2014.
So nasty.
She's seen your pictures. Come on, let me see.
David, stop. All right, first picture's my...
Oh, God!
This Valentine's Day.
This is Danny Martin. Nice to meet you.
It's about dating.
It's nothing but about last night.
I'm gonna act like I didn't see you check Facebook for a friend request. What are you, a 13-year-old girl? It's about friendship.
Are you seeing someone? Why? You just look like you think some relationship with.
It's about honesty.
I'm seeing a difference in you because of her. I'm like jealous.
Really?
Hell no. This is stupid.
It's about last night.
Welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. Today we're taking a look at the 4 films that make up February 14th, 2014. And we're starting off with the biggest and easily the best of the new releases this weekend, About Last Night, which is a remake, of course, of the 1986 movie, which was written by David Mamet, the same David Mamet that gave us that was behind The Untouchables, Glengarry Glen Ross, Hoffa, Wag the Dog. It's a very odd thing when you think about it, because it's about strangers finding out that John Grisham actually wrote the original book that gave us Christmas with the Cranks of all things, which is funny because that movie was also was based off of a book called Surviving Christmas, which in and of itself was made into a shitty 2000s Christmas movie. But of course, the original starred Rob Lowe and Demi Moore and Jim Belushi and Elizabeth Perkins. This time around, it's the same thing as the original film, except modernized with 2 couples, Michael Ealy and Joy Bryant, and Kevin Hart and Regina Hall, as they journey from the bar to the bedroom and are eventually put to the test in the real world. This time around, it's of course Eli and Brian in the roles that Rob Lowe and Demi Moore played. Jim Belushi and Elizabeth Perkins in the original are played now by Kevin Hart and Regina Hall. So, what is the film any good? And yeah, it actually, not only is it good, it's really good. I mean, this is a movie that's unlike that awkward moment, the film we looked at a couple weeks ago. That movie needs to take some lessons on how to make a good romantic comedy and not insult their audience, because this movie does that and then some. This was a good, funny, solid romantic comedy that didn't sugarcoat the facts about what it's like to be in a relationship like some other pieces of shit did. Okay, I'll stop talking about that awkward moment and move on to this, but About Last Night is nowhere near as bad as that movie is, but it delivers the hard truth of what it's like to be in a relationship and knows what to, and needs to, and knows, and how you need to know that when it's the right direction to do something in it to keep it going. This really does what a good romantic comedy should do. Make us care about the couples that are the main focus, not resort to stupid cliches for the most part, and provide us with a satisfying story that we can relate to as the audience and these couples, while again, not insulting our intelligence like certain other movies I'm going to stop talking about. Kevin Hart and Regina Hall are just excellent in this. They're funny as hell. They let their comedic chemistry work very well. And again, another really good movie that shows Kevin Hart of what he's capable of doing in here. And Regina Hall is really good too. I love the fact that they're so good together in this. Like, they're funny, they have a lot of good chemistry. I mean, this is just a great, great performance by both of these guys and both of these people, and they work off each other very well. You do also believe Michael Ealy and Joy Bryant as the straight couple in this. They really do work very well with their characters. You buy their chemistry, and you really do understand all the problems they're going through throughout the course of the film. Every single person who's been in a relationship or has had these events happen can relate to the problems that this couple goes through in this film, which of course leads to a couple of little flaws here and there that make it far from perfect. There's a scene in the movie where Joy Bryant takes a pregnancy test, and Michael Ealy asks her if she's pregnant, she says no, and it's never brought up again in the movie. So what was the point of bringing that pregnancy test up if there's going to be no purpose to it whatsoever? It just feels like they threw that in there. And the movie makes it think this is a remake of About Last Night. There's a scene in the movie that mirrors the scene from the original where Rob Lowe and Demi Moore are naked in the bathtub, which, yeah, it's there in this movie. But the part that bothers me with the scene that follows is that they're naked eating Chinese food and watching a movie. And what's the movie? The original About Last Night. And it's just like, wait, what? Like, it's pretty much the equivalent of having the Double Dragon arcade game in the Double Dragon movie. I mean, It makes no sense, and the Star Trek that it made so well is that the whole movie's world should have just imploded because it makes no sense whatsoever to have the original source material in the movie, and he's absolutely right. What sense does that make? But then again, you can also make the same argument for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where characters are watching a John Hughes movie that's features she's having a baby with Kevin Bacon, and even though Kevin Bacon's character is in that movie, and supposedly he's supposed to be that character from she's having a baby in Planes and Trains and Automobiles. But I'm just going off on a tangent here. But that one point that really bothered me the most about this is that when Michael Ealy has had his moment where he fucks up, and honestly, it's another example of somebody getting fired or breaking up with somebody when it's not the worst thing they've done in this movie. I'm sorry, him shouting out to people and continually getting drunk is something that is not something you break up with somebody over. I mean, yes, we have our moments where a couple has their misunderstanding and split up and go their separate ways, but come on. This has to be the laziest excuse to break up with somebody ever. I mean, there's a scene earlier in the movie where Ely's Kim Kardashian ex-wife, played by Paula Patton of all people, shows up and sets itself up to be that moment, but nothing ever comes from it. She's never mentioned again, and that has to be a better way to break the couple up so we can get to our third act other than that. And going back to some of the positives in here, I do like this. I do like some of the other performances in here. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's Joe Latrulio, Christopher McDonald's very good in here. The final scene is one of those movies that has an unfinished scene, which, as I said before, with the history of violence and in that awkward moment, I can't stand this in this movie. It's laziness to end the movie without wrapping the story and have the audience think that for themselves, and it's a lame excuse to wrap your film up. But to this film's credit, though, there actually is a point to it. I'm actually reminded of The Breakup, which is not a good movie, but I think of that scene. I think of this scene because both scenes in the way that the breakup ends and this movie ends are very similar to one another. They show the couple talking like normal people, trying to start over, and the film ends on a promising note. And honestly, if you're gonna end a film like that, I'm more than fine with that. Unlike I keep bringing this movie up, and I'm sorry, I can't. I hate that awkward moment so much. You hate Zac Efron's character in this movie because so much of him is that there's no reason why this movie should end on a promising note, because these two polar opposites should not be together in that movie. They share nothing in common. There's no excuse whatsoever for these two to still be together, and yet this movie has to do that because it's just the way to go and all that. No, not at all. Okay, last time I'm going to bring up that awkward moment in this, because, yeah, that movie's fucking terrible. But this film, however, is not only a good comedy, but it is indeed one of the best remakes you can ever see in a movie that really did not need to be remade, but it's certainly a hell of a lot better than a lot of remakes and reboots we've gotten over the last couple of decades. I mean, this takes the source material, which wasn't really all that memorable to begin with, and contemporizes it but not reducing it to cheap lows, like some of the other remakes we're going to get to here this weekend, because, yeah, these other remakes are so fucking awful, and this one is just like a breath of fresh air. This doesn't sugarcoat the facts about relationships. They are hard, but you know what? You gotta deal with it. The cast is great. You care about the couples that are involved in here. The jokes are funny. The story is great. Steve Pink really does a good job modifying the story to modern times. It's a great romantic comedy. I can't recommend this one enough. About Last Night is terrific. So with all that said, let's get to the other reboots that came out this weekend, and the ones that are absolutely god awful. Let's start off with the PG-13 rated Robocop.
You can save him. What kind of life will he have?
You'll have your husband back, I promise. This is the future of American justice. Robocop is here.
Alex! I know you're in there.
What the hell did you do to me?
The human element will always be present.
He's overriding the system's priority.
Shut it down!
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Robocop, rated PG-13.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. I mean, can you see some of the problems with this movie right from the get-go? Robocop is a remake of the 1987 Paul Verhoeven classic, this time set in the year 2028, which is only 2 years from now, so let's get this going, people. Let's get these cyborg police officers out there. Instead of having all these ICE agents going to these places and trying to detain people that are clearly legal, but that's a whole other thing altogether. But set in 2028, a detective becomes critically injured and is turned into a cyborg police officer whose programming blurs the line between man and machine, with the man this time around being played by Joel Kinnaman. And if you don't know who this person is, he and Burrell Enos have one thing in common. They are bland actors from one of AMC's worst shows, The Killing. I'm sorry, I hate these actors so much. They're probably nice people, but these two just fucking suck as actors in here. And to have him step into a role played very well by Peter Weller in the original, that's just bad right from the get-go. But on top of that, let's start with the obvious. The PG-13 rating on this. Now, as I've said before, there are times when the PG-13 rating can work on an R-rated, on a PG-13 remake of an R-rated film. The Longest Yard is one of those great examples of that, the Adam Sandler one. So many other ones I can mention here, but I'm sorry, making this PG-13 completely devoid of everything that made the original Robocop special. And basically, it's just a studio looking at this and saying, kids love this, let's get the families in here. And no, that already hurts the movie because it just feels so forced and uninspired and uninventive and just not fun at all. With a big cast around this film, Michael Keaton, Gary Oldman, Samuel L. Jackson, Jackie Earle Haley, Michael K. Williams, Jennifer Ely, Jay Baruchel, Abby Cornish. There's a lot of good talent in this movie, but no, they're surrounded by this plank of wood of an actor that makes Henry Cavill look better by comparison. This guy sucks. This guy is a terrible actor. I never liked him on The Killing. I've never liked him in any movie he's in. He's just a terrible actor. He's unemotional, and he pales in comparison to Peter Weller. And I'm sorry, this hip stylist, this black stylist look on him does not work on this Robocop at all. The gritty original gray Robocop looks a hell of a lot better and actually looks cooler than anything from this pile of garbage. The action sequences are terrible. The story is a sloppy mess of a film. This movie is an abomination. This is a movie that makes the 2012 Total Recall remake look like a masterpiece by comparison. And that movie sucks even more. That movie sucks just as bad, if not worse. But no, this one I think is more of an insult to this film in general, because at least with Total Recall, I got what they were trying to do. They were trying to distance it from the original, and not everything about it worked. I'm sorry. Kate Beckinsale basically taking over the movie from a character from the original that was not the main focus of the film. But then again, that film, Kate Beckinsale's banging the fucking director, so that makes sense. That was at least trying to do something different. This one's not even trying. This is just a lazy attempt to reboot a franchise, and nobody was buying into it. It was a major flop when it came out. It was thrashed by critics. It was inferior to the original film. It's just a bad movie. It's just a terrible, terrible film. So how do we take a classic 80s movie and remake it for a new generation by making it bad? How about we do the same thing to a shitty 80s movie and somehow make it even more shittier? This is Endless Love.
It was everything all at once.
The kind of love you fight for.
I promise you the best days of your life.
You're very sure of yourself. This is perfect, being here with you.
You have to trust me.
How?
I know I'm not good enough for you, but I'm going to spend my entire life proving that I am.
We always talk about how people should stop remaking the good movies. Remake the bad movies. Because, yeah, that's what you should be doing. Make bad movies better than the original film and make us forget about the god-awful movies like the original Endless Love, which is a god-awful movie. It's a movie where you're literally supposed to get behind a guy who literally deflowers a young teenage girl with her mother watching from afar and not being shocked at all, just like she's so captivated by it. And then the same dude burns her house down and then kills her father, all because that he's obsessively in love with her. And the movie plays it off as charming and cute and happy when none of that should happen in this goddamn movie. And it became a massive hit. And yeah, it was around that same time when Brooke Shields was just in a movie, and basically everyone was trying to get her naked, even though she was way too young. And sometimes they were doing this when she was underage too. So yeah, that's another bit of ewiness here. But even the writer of this book, Scott Spencer, hated that original film. So naturally, You know, he gets another chance to have one of his stories come to life and do it for a new generation of people. So, okay, now you have a chance to do what we've been asking for so many years. Remake a bad movie and make it better. Does this movie do that? Of course it fucking does it. It somehow makes it even worse. And that's hard to believe, but good Lord. It's just clear that this film this book should never have been made into a movie whatsoever. To the point that even Scott Spencer himself said that this movie somehow even more embarrassingly messed up his movie. Like, he said that it was about 100 pages, and the only ones that were not dreary were sciatica-inducing. And in 2014, he wrote that his novel has been even more egregiously and ridiculously misunderstood in making the remake than in the 1981 film. How do you do that? Seriously, how do you do that with a film like this? I mean, good Lord. So in this one, you have Alex Pettyfer from I Am Number 4 in this, as a guy who has a crush on Jade, played by Gabrielle Wilde from Carrie, and since the first time he saw her in the 10th grade. With high school coming to an end, David has never spoken to her until her family pulls up to the inn, where David works as a valet. She and David fall madly in love, and in a love that only goes stronger as parents try to tear them apart. David knows Jade's past, but as her secrets are slowly revealed, Jade's trust is tested and leaves them wondering if they're truly meant to be together. You know it's bad when the trailers for this don't even show you the stuff in the actual movie. No joke, the trailers they put out for this features none of the stuff that was in the fucking movie. And when that happens, you know you fucked up badly. You know you have seriously messed up. And yeah, this thing is just an ungodly mess of a movie that somehow makes the original look better by comparison. And that movie sucks too. This isn't made by a hack either. Shayna Festi directed this. She did Country Strong, which wasn't a great movie, but it certainly runs circles around this film in general here. At least that one was trying to do something, but this, oh my God. This is the literal definition of we want our own Twilight movie, and it's just not here, man. Even the music is so badly put together here. You know, let's take the rockin' song of Robert Palmer's "Addicted to Love" and make it a soft, quiet song, because that's always the way that song has always been intended. It's like the Taylor Swift version of "Santa Baby." It's just like, it's not meant to be sung as a goddamn country song. It's supposed to be sung as what Eartha Kitt made it out to be. Like, it's just, and Madonna too. It's just like, it makes no sense to do this type of stuff. Like, it's just such a god-awful movie, man. And again, it somehow makes this movie even more worse than the original film, and it's even less faithful to the source material. And it's just like, it's unbelievable how this thing continues to just be such a... It's just getting to the point where this thing should have never, ever have been made as a movie altogether. If they're going to screw this up not once, but twice, just don't even bother to make it, man. Like, this thing is just an abomination of a movie. It's one of the worst remakes you'll ever see in your life. It's just... yeah, it's pretty bad. So yeah, this is a very bad film overall, but let's see if we can turn the tide around with our last movie, Winter's Tale. Surely it won't be the same type of schmaltzy bullshit like Endless Love is.
Everywhere around us. You just have to look.
This Valentine's Day,
Make love to me now.
That's exactly what I'll do.
experience the movie critics are calling a wonderful, heartfelt surprise.
Find her. You gotta find him.
Winter's Tale is a sweeping romantic fantasy.
Nothing happens that it isn't supposed to.
Fall in love with the perfect date movie.
Can you hear your heart?
Stop it, or I'll melt all the snow I'm standing on.
Give me a chance and you'll melt all the snow in the world.
Winter's Tale, rated PG-13, starts Friday.
Better not use that for. I mean, my God, can you be any more schmaltzy than this film? I mean, Jesus Christ, that was rough to sit through. That's the commercial, by the way. This thing is so much worse than you could possibly imagine. This is based off of a book, and it centers around the story of New York City being subsumed in Arctic winds, dark nights, and white lights. Its life unfolds, for it is an extraordinary hive of the imagination, the greatest house ever built, and nothing exists that can check its vitality. One night in winter, Peter Lake, played by Colin Farrell, orphan and master mechanic, attempts to rob a fortress-like mansion on the Upper West Side. Though he thinks the house is empty, the daughter of the house is home. Thus begins the love between Peter, an Irish burglar in his early 20s, Colin Farrell in his early 20s in 2014. Yeah, you completely have lost this movie right from the get-go. And Beverly Penn, played by Jessica Brown Findlay, a young girl who was dying. I mean, come on! This is one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. And you know the worst part about it is the people that are involved in this movie. I mean, not only Colin Farrell, Jessica Brown Findlay, but Russell Crowe, Eva Marie Saint, William Hurt, Jennifer Connelly, Matt Bomer, Graham Greene, Kevin Durant, Finn Wittrock, Will Smith giving one of the most ridiculous visuals you'll ever see in your life. I mean, just look at this. Somebody looked at this and said, "That's good, man. Keep it up." But no, on top of that, this thing has been building around for so many years. I mean, Steven Spielberg bought the rights to it when the book came out in 1983, and then Warner Brothers tried to do one with Martin Scorsese, and then it became a passion project for Akiva Goldsman, who ended up directing the film. Of course, this is the same man that won Oscars for writing Time to Kill. He wrote a beautiful, not for Time to Kill, but he wrote A Beautiful Mind. He wrote I, Robot. This is his first movie he's ever directed, and boy, what a way to start your directing career with a piece of garbage like this. I mean, this is one of the most one of the most forced movies you'll ever see in your life. A movie that's trying so hard to tug at your heartstrings and get these couples so hornied up, but it's failing on every single level. This thing is a mess of a movie, from the terrible visuals to scenes that are just so ridiculously awful. It's just such a sloppy mess of a film on so many levels. This is a bad film. This is a really, really awful movie. One of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And again, it's more worth watching just for nightmarishly bad visuals like this. I mean, come on. Someone looked at this and said, "That's good, man. Keep it in the film." Wow. Just Winter's Tale, man. Just wow. Wow, this is bad. And so, with that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies, and judging by the films we have coming up, I still remember that we're still in the dumping weeks of the early part of the year, because next week's movies aren't looking any better. Kevin Costner starring in the action thriller 3 Days to Kill. Roland Emmerich is back with yet another bland disaster movie, this time based off of one of the greatest disasters in history, the destruction of Pompeii. We also have at least one good movie, Hayao Miyazaki's latest film, The Wind Rises. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. It's pretty bad, but we'll get to those films in the next episode. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this one. This was a fun one this week, just for how just terrible the last 3 movies were. Good Lord. But if you somehow found enjoyment of this, hey, more power to you. But if you did find enjoyment, please go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. And I promise you tonight we will have a new Time About the Movies flashback. I know I've been slouching the last couple of weeks, but things have just gotten in the way, but you know the story by now. But if you're watching this in January 2026, if you're watching this a few years down the road, you're probably thinking to yourself, what the hell is he talking about? Go back in time to around the time these videos will come out, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But with all that said, I've wasted so much of your time already. Whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. I need a break, man. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.